Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. My name is Sarah and today, as you can see, we've got a little bit of a different setup here. So I recently watched Meg with Books, her video where she did a tier making video of the books that she read during the first half of the year, and I thought that it was a really fun idea and I decided that I wanted to do it. She said that she was about a year late to the trend, so I'm, I guess a year late to the trend as well, but that's pretty par for the course. I am typically late to every trend that I jump on. I will link her original video down in the description box below in case you want to check it out. I highly recommend checking out her channel. She's hilarious. So for each of her tiers, she used kind of reality TV show memes. I'm gonna do kind of something a little bit different. I wanted to put like actual meme pictures in here, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. I don't think it lets you actually use pictures for the tier titles, so I just kind of made up some random ones. So my top tier absolute favorite books is my Anxiety is Chronic, but this book is iconic. And then the kind of ones right below that are just like they're books that I really enjoyed, but not quite like perfection. They're a treasure. And then the next two tiers, you can kind of interchange them a little bit. They're kind of ones that I had some sort of like a problem with. So then there's the It's Not Me, It's You, where I think that the book kind of had like a fundamental issue that reduced my enjoyment of it, or It's Not You, It's Me, where I can understand where people like the book, but it's just not personally for me. Then the next tier is Who Are You Again? These are books that I have quickly forgotten about. They're just kind of, they didn't really stick in my head too much. I'm just was not a huge fan of it. And then there's God No, Please No. These are the books that I absolutely did not like at all. And so that is the last tier, and these are the 35 books that I have read from January to the end of June. I am making this towards the end of July, but I'm not including any of the books that I read in July. And these are in alphabetical order, they're not in the order that I read them in. Then when I go through these books, like I said, they're in alphabetical order, they're not in the order that I read them, and I'm not going to go through and give you a synopsis of each one because that's just going to take way too long. I'm going to try to make this, not a super unbearably long video, and so I'm just gonna give kind of a quick little hopefully decent enough reasoning as to why I put each book in the tier that it is, and then just move on from there. So the first book is Among the Beasts and Briars, and I'm actually gonna put that directly starting off kind of low in Who Are You Again? This one I found to be a pretty forgettable YA fantasy. I was kind of disappointed in it. It just lacked a lot of depth in the book, and I already kind of forgot that I had read it actually when I was adding these to the list. And the next one is An Ember in the Ashes. We're gonna go with a treasure. I actually really enjoyed this book. I found it super easy to fly through. It was super addicting to read. There was just a few scenes that I wish would have kind of been given a little bit more time in the book to kind of grow. An Enchantment of Ravens. Alright, so if you've been watching my videos, you know that Margaret Rogerson has quickly become a new favorite author of mine. So this is her first book, and I'm going to actually put this in a treasure as well, because I loved it, but not quite as much as I loved her second book. But this is just a really atmospheric, fairy tale-esque read that I really enjoyed. We're going to be a 3 for 4 for a treasure with Ariadne. We're going to put this in the treasure too. I really enjoyed this book. This actually really surprised me how much I enjoyed it. It's a kind of a historical fantasy that tells the tale of Theseus and the Minotaur, but from Ariadne's perspective, and it was just really beautifully well done. There was just some timeline jumps that I remember kind of having a bit of an issue with, so that's why it kind of got knocked down a little bit of a peg. And then Blue Lily Blue is also going to be a treasure. By the end of this video, this is just going to be the like miles long, and everything else is going to be like 1 or 2 books. But I've absolutely adored the Raven Cycle series. This is the 3rd out of the 4 books in the series, and this one isn't quite my favorite, but it's definitely up there. I really enjoyed it, and I liked that this one went kind of back to the magical forest atmosphere. So then Bunny, this one we're gonna go with It's Not Me, It's You. I really enjoyed this one. This is a really bizarre psychological horror novel. However, there was like 1 or 2 really big plot points that just didn't quite make sense for me, I think. So I just think that it's part of the book, there is like a bit of a flaw there. And then Catherine House is kind of similar in like style to Bunny. They both have very dark academia vibes. Catherine House more so, but I'm gonna put this one in It's Not You, It's Me. I know a lot of people do like this book, and I did enjoy it. I listened to the audiobook. However, I found that there was like a severe lack in like direction of the plot, and I understand that that was kind of the point of the book, but it kind of really bugged me. So yeah, I'm gonna put with It's Not You, It's Me. And then our first God No, Please No is Constellation of Scars. And I'm not even gonna talk about this book, aside from just that this is where it belongs. Nope. And then we have Deadly Dreams by KJ Sutton. This is a dark fantasy romance. I really enjoyed this one. However, I felt like the beginning was kind of slow to move into things, and it just didn't match the pacing of the rest of the series. This is the 3rd book in the Fortuna Sworn series, so I'm going to put it in a treasure, because I loved it, but not as much as the 1st and 2nd one. And then Descent of the Crane by Joan Hay. I'm going to also put this one in It's Not You, It's Me. I did really enjoy this one. It's much more of like a political fantasy, and kind of a murder mystery-esque novel. However, the first half felt really slow to get going, and while I enjoyed like how everything ended up coming together, I felt like I had a hard time getting pulled into the book, even though it was interesting. I don't know. I feel like it's more of a me thing though. And then next we have From Blood and Ash. And so I don't think it's horrible, so I don't want to put it like down here. And it's definitely like not forgettable, but like loads of people love this book, and I just didn't see the hype in it. So I really think I'm gonna put It's Not You, It's Me. This is another fantasy romance novel, and I was really excited for it because I'd heard so much hype behind it, and I don't know, it didn't click. Like, it wasn't horrible, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite. And then Hummingbird Salamander, I'm gonna put under a treasure. I really enjoyed this. This is a kind of science fiction thriller book. It's really suspenseful, and I really loved how Vandermeer was able to create this sense of like dread and like anxiety in the book with his short, choppy sentences. He just did a really good job with it. If We Were Villains, okay, so I know I'm either gonna be cliche or I'm gonna make a lot of people roll their eyes, but I actually really loved this book. So I'm gonna put it in My Anxiety is Chronic, but this book is iconic. It is a pretty iconic dark academia novel. If you say dark academia, people think either The Secret History or If We Were Villains. I listened to it on audiobook, and I actually think that made me enjoy the book more than maybe what I would have enjoyed it when I was just reading it like in a physical book. Just something about how the narrator really brought these characters to life and like their really tangled relationships. I don't know, I had a really good time listening to it. A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I'm gonna put just right next to From Blood and Ash. I kind of had like really similar feelings um, with the two of these books, and I kind of come to the decision that I'm just not gonna continue the series. I know the third one is already out. It was funny because when I finished the second one, by the time I was done with it, I like still had no idea how I felt about either of the books or the series. Like, I've never been so confused and unsure of my feelings of a book as I have with these two. And then next we have Madam, and I'm going to put that in It's Not Me, It's You. This is a super, super slow-paced book, which I think kind of hinders its enjoyment a bit. It's a bit too slow-paced. However, I, as a whole, enjoyed this book, especially the last, like, third. It was pretty intense. This is kind of a dark academia thriller it's, like, really pretty dark. It's really interesting. I do encourage people to check it out. But, yeah, it was a bit too slow for me to want to put it higher. Mirrorland's also gonna go in It's Not Me, It's You. So this is kind of a psychological thriller novel involving twins and kind of suppressed memory or repressed memories, and another like messy relationship kind of a book. However, the thing that kind of hindered it for me was the ending, like, had an extra twist in it, which was just too much, and I didn't find it like 100% necessary. And then we have Muse of Nightmares. This is going in the iconic tier. I loved this book. I just was absolutely amazed by how Taylor just blew this world open and this whole universe in the second book. This is the second book in the Strange Dreamer duology. I just think that it was really, really well done, and it had a very good ending, and lots of little hints at possible spin-off stories from this universe, which I absolutely, and just, I want it to happen so bad. And then, I don't know why this picture ended up blurry, but we have Ray Bear, and this is going to go into Treasure. I really enjoyed Ray Bear. I read it towards the very beginning of this year, and this is a YA fantasy that really surprised me, actually. Like, I had heard a lot of people raving about it, so I was expecting to enjoy it, but I was surprised with how refreshing it felt and how much I really ended up enjoying it. Restless Slumber is going to come up here in the iconic tier. This is the second book in the Fortuna Thorn series. So we had, where is it? We had Deadly Dreams right here. This is the third one. Restless Slumber was definitely my favorite out of the three that have been published so far. This is incredibly fast paced, and I think that the beginning and how the characters kind of take their time to process and heal what happened in the first book was much better paced than kind of what it was in Deadly Dreams, because they take like a good chunk of the beginning to process what happened in this book, but I just think this pacing wise was a bit better than Deadly Dreams. And then Sorcerer Thorns is actually going to follow in the iconic tier. This is Margaret Rogerson's second book that she's published, and I just really, really loved the gothic atmosphere of this novel. And Enchantment of Ravens was her first book, and it has a very whimsical autumnal atmosphere, but I enjoyed Sorcerer Thorns and kind of how the characters played out, and the just the plot and the level of action that was in this book compared to An Enchantment of Ravens. Strange Dreamer is going to go in a Treasure, just because I loved Muse of Nightmares a bit more than Strange Dreamer. Strange Dreamer is definitely a beautiful first novel, and just you get a really good introduction to the characters, but I definitely like Muse of Nightmares a little bit more. And then we're going to have our second God No, Please No with The Bone Maker. And then the Dating Plan. I'm going to put this in... I'm going to put this in a Treasure. I really enjoyed this. I'm not a huge contemporary romance fan, or just like romance in general, like a really romance heavy book. However, I really, really enjoyed The Dating Plan. I thought that the romance balance with just like the each individual character's life story was just balanced really well, and it was just a really fun, like, comforting read. Yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It surprised me, actually, how much I loved it. The Dream Thieves is the second book in the Raven Cycle series, and I actually did not like this one nearly as much as the other three. I have finished the series now. I think I'm actually gonna put this in Who Are You again, because a lot of what happened felt like it was setting up for the last two books in the series, and I just don't really remember much besides, like, the really big plot point. I don't know, this one just didn't, I was kind of sad, and I was kind of worried for how the rest of the series was going to turn out. And then we have The Grace Year. This book surprised me. It's going in the iconic tier. I knew I was going to end up liking this one because I really enjoy dystopian novels, especially like if they have strong feminist themes, which this one definitely does. But just it shocked me how like quickly it dug its claws into me, and how like there were points where I just could not put it down, and I really enjoyed it. So The Hunting Party is gonna go in Who Are You again. I actually read this relatively recently. I think I read it in June, actually, and I don't remember. I feel like it's a super forgettable thriller. I can see why people like it, so really, I guess it kind of should go up. And It's Not You, It's Me, but I just feel like it kind of belongs in the Who Are You again. It just was one that I feel like is going to quickly, completely leave my memory. I don't know, I was kind of disappointed. The Mask Falling, we don't even need to question it. We don't even need to think about it. It goes in the iconic tier. I just, Samantha Shannon, you see the name Samantha Shannon, it's gonna go in the iconic tier. That's that. I love this one. This is the fourth book in the Bone Season series, in case you were wondering. The Ones We're Meant to Find, I enjoyed this one, but there's a big like issue that I had with it, so I'm gonna put it in It's Not Me, It's You. I thought that it was really well done, like especially the second half. The first half was just missing like this extra underlying layer to really set the foundation of the story. I feel like we were kind of floundering to find ourselves in like where we were going with it, and like things in the end kind of popped up that like I liked the decision of adding them in the book, but I wish they would have been tied back a little stronger to stuff in the beginning. So The Raven Boys, I'm going to put in a treasure. This is the first book in the Raven Cycle series. I feel like I loved the Raven Boys about as much as I loved Blue Lily, Lily Blue. They both really stick with that sentient magical forest vibe, and I just really loved the entire atmosphere of this book. And then sixth from the last one is The Wife Upstairs. This one is gonna go in Who Are You again. This is another thriller that I feel was pretty forgettable. So this is actually a Jane Austen retelling, kind of set in modern day, more of like the kind of country club suburban ritzy lifestyle, and I liked how like obviously it took a much more sinister thriller turn to it, but yeah, I think overall it was kind of a forgettable one for me, which is sad. And I'm also going to put Winter the Witch in this. I loved The Bear and the Nightingale. That was the first book. Winter the Witch is the third book. I read the first two books last year, and then Winter the Witch I read beginning of this year, and yeah, I was really disappointed how the last two books turned out. I think Bear and the Nightingale was much, much better, and I wish that the rest of the series had kind of continued on the same like at the same like tone and pace and like strength that the Bear and the Nightingale had, but yeah, it didn't do much for me. And I remember kind of how this one ended, but I don't really remember too much like other than that. It was just kind of, the last 2 books were pretty forgettable, which is sad. And then we have The Wolf and the Woodsman. We're gonna go with A Treasure. I really enjoyed this book. Kind of like, I feel like initially if I would have done this right after I read it, it probably would have came up in iconic, but since after reading it, it's kind of lost its like punch that it had on me, but I still think that it's a really, really well done historical fantasy novel, and I think Ava Reed's going to be a really strong debut author. So These Violent Delights, I'm gonna put in It's Not You, It's Me, because I think it just didn't quite click with me how it has with other people. I think Chloe Gong is a really solid debut author. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai, and it's kind of in like a gangster-esque setting. And I liked the idea of it, and I think that like the plot was well structured. I just like the execution just didn't click with me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just put it in this tier. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars is also gonna go in A Treasure. I really enjoyed this one. I think we're gonna keep it in A Treasure. This is a kind of a science fiction, it's a space opera. So if you love like aliens and like deep space travel and stuff, I think Paulini did a really good job with this book, especially with like the science behind everything and kind of the, I don't know, I just really enjoyed like just the story as a whole. It is a bit slower paced, which like didn't bother me, but I could see like where it is a bit of a negative aspect of the story, and I also feel like I wanted just a little bit more with curating the characters and their relationships with each other, especially for how long this book was, which is why I'm not gonna put it in iconic, but I did really love it. And then We Hunt the Flame is our last one. I think I'm gonna put it in It's Not Me, It's You, because it felt like the entire middle part felt like nothing was happening. And I feel like if that was fixed and we had more action while they were like traveling and stuff, I feel like I would have liked it a lot better and it would have came up here, because I had a really, really strong start and the ending was really intriguing, but the whole middle section, like, I don't know, it was really, really boring. It felt like literally like nothing happened. And so these are the 35 books that I've read so far. I feel like this is a pretty good spread. We only have 2 down here. This is pretty heavy. Obviously the second tier is heavy, which I think is fair. I think it's good. I think it means that so far I've had a pretty solid reading year. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of excited about this. I love the idea of doing this. I think I will do another tier ranking for the second half of the year. Once this year is over. I don't think I'll do like a full year, because I've already ranked these guys. I don't know, we'll see. Let me know what you thought of this video. If you want me to do more things kind of like this, let me know. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing, but as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!